And this is where our adventure begins, behind a newly built petrol station. There's a hole in the fence. It's just over there. Allow me to show you where this path starts and hopefully where it concludes. Right, fortunately there's a hole here, made probably with a big brown boot. So if we just push this aside, we can squeeze through. Excuse the camera work. Here we go. Right, and behind the horrible shiny steel and the new to be installed petrol station is this hill, this mountain. And it's out through these rice fields and into the forest beyond, because out there somewhere, I believe, is a temple. And it's these old boots that are on my feet that are yet again picking up new dust on yet another new adventure. So the petrol station was back out that way, and we're moving across what is these now harvested fields of rice. The hill is looming large, and what might be jolly fun is to look from a satellite to see where I am and where I'm heading. And if we clip over to the satellite image, you can see I'm the blue dot, and Tadong, the temple I'm aiming for, I've placed a pin. So that's what I'm heading towards. But if we go back to where I am in the real world, we can see everything is far from clear. I don't actually know where amongst all that there is a temple. With my remarkable luck, a farmer who I've asked, an elderly gentleman who's got to be in his 90s, that was digging a hole to put fence posts in all by himself, has abandoned his work and is walking me through this bamboo forest. It is remarkable luck, because I have no idea. So here we are, following the kindness of this old gentleman who's leading us through what is an enchanted place. It's absolutely beautiful. Now there's something worthy of note whilst we're just travelling on with this extremely old gentleman who's as agile as an Italian mountain goat. There's landmines in this area, without a doubt. I've been in this area and I've seen many people with their limbs blown off, be it legs, be it arms. And of course, for every leg and arm, there's many more that have laid dead and have now gone, hopefully, to a better place. So walking through these areas is exceedingly dangerous, but it is always worth it, because if there isn't an aspect of adventure in life, then you have fallen into the mundane. And out here lays things like this, a beautiful bamboo forest with a carpet of gold for a floor. So with the kindness of a benevolent old man who was toiling away extremely hard in his fields, and also maybe with the following wind of one of our ancient gods, we find ourselves in the presence of Prasat Tadong. And this one is one of the temple groupings of the Kulen Mountains. The Kulen Mountains are just over there, and that was one of the very first cities of the Khmer Empire. So this mighty beast here was one of the satellite temples, and it is quite the find. It is set in such a beautiful surrounding. Now, if we look back at a satellite image, it looks for all the world like a jungle, but it isn't. It's an enchanted bamboo forest, and there's not an awful lot to show you. That is, until I step back there to actually open this shot. And what I saw at my feet, quite surprisingly, was a lion's bottom. So there stands the mighty ancient temple in its wondrous setting. And it was over here I walked to actually start this video. And when I saw this, I knew immediately what it was. and that is a lion's bottom, you see. Now, if you can work this out, these are the haunches, the back of the legs, and this is the tail going upwards, up his back. But there's something else. If we spin him over, we can see that he once had a penis, but that is gone. All that's left are his rather stony plums. And it's from an ancient lion's nut to the temple itself. The sun is going down. I'm running short on time, but what you'll notice here is a structure made of these huge, enormous stones, and this puzzles me as to why this is here. The main temple itself is made of brick. Can you just see off screen there? This is all brick, but here was a separate building made of these enormous blocks. Now, as to why that is, I don't know. And my guess would be this was a later addition, and it could well have had something to do with authority, because when authority figures do have buildings made, they're obviously, you know, they're sometimes much more sterner and much more, how do you say, elaborate in their design and construction than the original building, because here is the original building, and look, it's in quite the sorry state, isn't it? But we need to move forward, and this isn't easy because I'm walking on, oh damn it, I'm getting held in prickles again. It's walking on a debris field of shale. If I just look down, you see all this, you walk on this and it just slips all the time, and that's how you get injured. But if we go inside, we can see, ignoring this scaffolding, that this was truly a mighty tower. It is absolutely huge. For a brick construction such as this, it really, really is big. I don't know if I can actually get a shot of me in here to show you how big this is. And we must also think what is missing. And what is missing is once here stood a mighty statue of a god, and it must have been huge. Now, I've never done this before. I've actually got the camera mounted on the tripod, but I have to sort of push the tripod back so you can see as to the depth of this thing. So I'm determined to show you, but it is very difficult to do because the tripod now has to tilt and tilt and tilt and tilt and tilt. So that hopefully gives you some idea as to how big this thing is, because remember that sort of pinnacle piece was all the way up there. It's at least 15 feet above my head. So this is one mighty, mighty temple. And around me is all these huge bricks. And they are literally falling in around. And clambering around these debris fields is a right royal pain in the neck. One is forever twisting one's foot, and I've just had an injury that went on for nearly 6 months, and only now am I recovering from it. So when I walk out, I'm going to be jolly careful. And heading back to do the main shot, guess what I found? The rest of the lion. Have a look at this very quickly. There are 2 of his paws, and here is his chest. Look at this. And up here would have been his head that has been looted. His legs there would have gone on there. So this piece on my left would go onto this piece here. And if we look round the back, we will see this is where his haunches would have been, that piece that we saw earlier. So we have seen some of the majesty of this temple, and there's even some ornate pillar that is left, but unfortunately the looters have taken everything else. So there it is, a majestic temple that was once part of an ancient city which has fallen into disrepair. The city at Kulen, the mountain just over there, is quite simply in the most desperate of states. You can't actually get to any of the temples without a guide. It's really, really dangerous. And I do mean properly dangerous. And here on the satellite temples that can be found with the help of a kindly farmer, who's with me still, by the way, lovely chap, we could see some of the past glories. That resplendent elephant that was once the guardian of this mighty giant. But alas, due to its remote location, well, that is just one huge big golden invitation to those looters who could come here day and night and ply their evil trade, taking away whatever they wanted, and on occasions using chainsaws to cut into temples. It always makes me sad, that statement. But hopefully some of the majesty and some of the, I don't know, the solitude, the calm that these places, the reassurance, I think that's what these temples are all about, is reassuring the people that there's something bigger, there's a greater plan for you, oh humble human. And for me, my goodness, they have radically changed my life, as you may know, from being a horrendous addict to now being this guy, a much happier one. So these temples still cast their magic spell on some of us. So as always, if you've enjoyed this little adventure and by chance you can help me build up a library of these abandoned and often forgotten temples, then I would be truly grateful. And how you do that is very easy. It's www.patreon.com/temples. Simple as that. And I conclude as always by wishing you absolutely nothing but, of course, the very best. You be sure to take good care now.